Carolyn Flitcroft. Update from previous TT. Neil is such a wonderful yoga teacher. He has a wealth of knowledge that extends far beyond the yoga asanas. I've learned so much from him about chanting, yoga philosophy, and living a true yogic lifestyle. There are very few teachers in the US with this kind of knowledge. Plus, Neil and his wife are wonderful people, and I truly enjoy their friendship. I feel like part of their yoga family. Namaste. 11/29/2007. I completed the Authentic Yoga Teacher Training Program this year. It was great. I highly recommend it. The class size was small, and I got a lot of individual attention, which enabled me to focus on my areas of interest and to really improve on my weak, inexperienced areas in teaching. After completing the training, I felt pretty confident to teach on my own. I think everyone is a bit self-conscious and unsure in the beginning, no matter what. Neil gave me an opportunity to substitute teach some classes at a local gym, which was an invaluable experience. Plus, after that, I got other offers from another yoga teacher to sub for some of her classes. So, if anyone is concerned whether this system is endorsed by Yoga Alliance or not, I can attest that you can teach yoga as a professional yoga teacher with a certification through Neil's Authentic Yoga System. Carolyn Flitcroft, 12/29/2006. Carolyn Flitcroft, Dr. Sue Ann Lewine, Stress Reduction Specialist, AD, Doctor of Chiropractic, Virginia, USA. When Neil told me his teacher training was 14 classes, I was intrigued. There are thousands of asanas. How could he teach me every one, and how to teach them all in just 14 weeks? It's impossible. I learned so much more. From the first class, I knew I was in the right place. By teaching me the concepts for teaching in the Authentic Yoga System, Neil taught me a simple and effective method to teach what I already know. I realized that my whole life became the teacher training. Thank you, Neil. Dr. Sue Ann Lewine, Stress Reduction Specialist, AD Doctor of Chiropractic, Virginia, USA, 01/20/2006. Dr. Sue Ann Lewine, Happy Gulino. Neil is an outstanding yoga teacher and Sanskrit scholar. He takes his work very seriously and can address the huge spectrum of student needs in yoga classes. Also, he can discuss and explain classic yoga scriptures and philosophies, as well as share how to chant them properly. Neil is nothing but integrity, inside and out, and I'm proud to have studied with him and count him as my friend. Allegra Gulino, AYS 200, RYT 200, North Carolinas, USA. 4/17/2013. Neil is a wonderful, gifted teacher with an unbelievable wealth of knowledge of classical yoga scripture and a family lineage to back him up. I just ate up every moment of the training. He solidly demonstrated how and why his methodology and philosophy is superior. He has taken me out of my comfort zone and opened new doors for my thinking, practicing, and teaching yoga. At the same time, he has made me feel absolutely safe to ask whatever questions I have and has an organic approach to addressing topics which I appreciated. All this and his lovely personality and welcoming attitude, too. Neil is tip-top. Allegra Gulino, RYT, Arlington, Virginia, and yoga teacher at American University, Washington, D.C., 05/25/2005. Kristen Martinez, teacher training class, Fall 2006, Virginia. I have attended many yoga classes over the years due to my back injury and to help relax myself. I have been looking for different ways in yoga style, but I can't seem to find the right one for me. After Carla told me about you, I decided to wait for one of yours classes, and from the first hour, I felt such a difference in myself. It was the first time that I have been so in tune with myself and felt such peace that I was very emotional on my way home after that. It was that night that I have found the right way for me, and joining your teacher training class in fall of 2006 was the start of a new outlook for me. I joined with the intention of teaching myself. Your way of teaching me was very personal and specific to my needs. You take the time to learn each one of us and teach us what is right for our own needs, not what everyone else's idea of what yoga is. With your methods, I have learned about myself and what I can do today and accept what I can't and practice on it. Not only do you focus on the body, but the mind as well, which is the most important thing that I have learned from you. What I learned in your teacher training goes beyond the asanas. That is just the poses that we do. But true yoga is what you do after you leave the class. Your teaching is what I try and use in my daily application of my life. For yoga, it is not just about the poses. After the teacher training, I just wanted to practice it for myself, and it has changed my life in ways that I cannot thank you enough. Now, I try and teach people the way I understood it from you. I know that people will interpret it their own way, and that is one of the great things I have learned from you. Yoga is your own. I have shared what I can in my teachings here in Europe. I teach only once a week. For the rest, I try and learn more. I can never learn enough, and as I continue my journey, I will always try and live the yogi way for all. I have found peace from your teaching. I only wish that I could have spent more time with you and your teachings, maybe in the future. In the meantime, I would like to thank you for changing my life for the better, and I only hope that I can impart some of that to others. Anyone who wishes to join your class, may it be for themselves or to teach others, are very blessed. I cannot recommend and thank you enough. All my family and friends have heard about you and are very grateful for the teachings you have given me. I tell my students about you and they extend their gratitude. Namaste. Kristen Martinez, Teacher Training Class, Fall 2006, Virginia. Kristen Martinez. Eileen Craigie. Hello, Neil. Having just completed the most recent teacher training for certification, Fall 2006, in your Authentic Yoga School program, I would like to tell you that this has been one of the most educational and enlightening experiences I have had while taking a training program and studying. As the training went by, I discovered how much of my past study and learning can be applied to this teaching, and I learned things that I could not have anticipated at the outset. As I read from a previous participant's comments, it teaches you how to teach. My experience has borne this out. By providing the concepts, both yoga practice concepts and teaching concepts, you learn how to teach yourself and thus to teach others. The individualized attention that you give during the program is much appreciated and met my needs and interests while opening up new areas for me. Your patience, flexibility, and willingness to help is also very much appreciated. Developing a home practice is an integral and extremely important part of this course over the 14 weeks. This is where the concepts are taken from the classroom and put into action, and where you discover for yourself how to answer your own questions. Neil, as he does in his other work, books, and workshops, challenges you to think for yourself and to develop your own style and interpretation through the concepts he teaches. He is an extraordinary instructor, and finding someone so steeped in yogic philosophy and culture, not to mention Sanskrit and chanting, here in the Washington, D.C. area is an untapped treasure. I highly recommend Neil's Authentic Yoga teacher training to anyone interested in developing their yoga practice, whether they are planning to teach or not. I can't wait to take another one. Thank you. Warmest wishes, Eileen.
Nilesh Jade, computer scientist, Falls Church, Virginia. Authentic Yoga Teacher Training Feedback. The teacher training was conducted in a true spirit of yoga. The structure of the training course was good, with an emphasis on a student maintaining the log for the home practice. There was also peer-to-peer review of the yoga classes as well as students conducting the same. The only requirement for teacher training is a strict discipline. Nilesh Jade, computer scientist, Falls Church, Virginia, February 27, 2004. Catherine A. Banfield, RYT. My name is Katie Banfield and I have been studying yoga from Neil for over a year now. I had the good luck of meeting Neil at a point in my practice when I was looking for a teacher who could really offer personal attention and guidance. As a yoga teacher myself and a fairly advanced practitioner of asana, I felt the need for a teacher who understood the science very deeply and could meet me at my level of experience. Neil is not only a great teacher, he is a master practitioner of all aspects of yoga. Just when I think there can't be any more to uncover, he opens up an immense body of knowledge for me to explore. I have particularly enjoyed the time we have spent together discussing philosophy, chanting, and the culture of India. I feel that I have been blessed to have met such a jewel here in the West. After 4 trips to India, I was skeptical about finding a competent and authentic teacher outside of Asia, but I have found one here in Virginia. It would take me more than one lifetime to learn the techniques that Neil considers familiar, but I am excited to have begun that process with someone I consider a brother, teacher, spiritual guide and friend. Catherine A. Banfield, RYT, 2004. Julie Schaffer. Authentic Yoga Teacher Training Feedback, excellent overall understanding of the philosophy and focus of authentic yoga. This course is a basic must for serious yoga students in order to comprehend the foundation of authentic Indian yogic lifestyle. It will benefit me throughout my life and in all my endeavors. Julie Schaffer, February 6, 2004. Stephanie Schaefer, School Teacher. Dear Neil, Merry Christmas to you too. Just wanted to let you know how much I appreciate the training you gave me. I'm still teaching yoga to elementary school students in Arlington County, retired from my counseling job this summer but have continued with the yoga classes. Happy New Year, sincerely. Stephanie, Stevie, Schaefer, December 20, 2017. Aloha Neil, thank you for keeping me on your list and I would love to come. This past spring 37 yoga students signed up for my class after school at Barrett Elementary School, all pre-K, usually ages 4 to 3rd grade. I had to form 2 classes. They are really growing beautifully. It is very wonderful work. Thank you for all your guidance. I still would like to come back for more training when I can afford it. Namaste and aloha to you Neil. Stephanie, July 16, 2007. Thank you for keeping me on your mailing list. Even though I have been asked to teach a class for adults in a private home, I haven't done so yet but continue to offer yoga on Monday afternoons from 3:06 to 4 p.m. for students at my elementary school. Right now we have 28 mostly primary yoga students, mostly kindergarten to 3rd grade and 2 5th grade students. It is becoming more and more relaxing and we are very proud of them. Their favorite greeting to show respect to each other is named with prayer position, which means to us the light and goodness and forgiveness in me respects and honors the light and goodness and forgiveness in you. Thank you for your wonderful class which has given me the tools to be able to share yoga with these little ones. I hope to be able to take an advanced teaching class with you again sometime next year to improve my practice. Thank you again for all your work. With sincere aloha, it means I wish you the breath of life, and namest. Stephanie Schaefer, School Teacher, Virginia, May 23, 2006. Dear Neil, thank you for thinking of me. I hope all is going well. I just wanted to let you know that I am honored to still be able to teach in yoga class for primary-aged children at the elementary school where I work as a school counselor. This semester we have 24 preschool, age 4, through 3rd graders in the class. At the beginning and end of the class we always greet each person with names, which to us means the goodness and light and forgiveness in me respects and honors the goodness and light and forgiveness in you. We also remind each other that each person is very special because they are the only one of them in the entire universe, and that we are all teachers and learners. One class I had to come late, so one of our 3rd graders taught the class and did a great job. Thanks to the great training I received from you Neil, I know that I have a lot to share with them. I still plan to take your advanced teachers class sometime in the future. Please keep me on your mailing list. God bless you. Sincerely, Stephanie Schaefer. December 9, 2005. Dear Neil, congratulations on all the new class, center, etc. I hope to be able to attend in the near future. Just wanted to let you know that last year I was able to facilitate a yoga class at our school for elementary school children. We had 3 kindergarteners, 1 1st grader, 1 2nd grader, 2 3rd graders, and 2 5th graders. We started out with many moments of relaxation and by the end of the semester the entire class was relaxing. Their favorite thing to do was to offer names at beginning and end of class to each person. We translated it as the goodness and light of God in me, salutes and honors the goodness and light of God in you. Oftentimes their teachers would ask these students to demonstrate and teach others in their classes about yoga. I hear that they oftentimes demonstrated the tree pose and told about namest and what it means. This yoga class will also be offered again as part of my counseling program at Barrett Elementary School in Arlington, Virginia. Thank you Neil for helping me to have the courage to share what I have learned. Names to you. Sincerely, Stephanie. August 27, 2003. As a graduate of Neil's Basic Authentic Yoga Teacher Training, I highly recommend any of Neil's classes on yoga. He is an excellent teacher, concerned and supportive of each of his students. With his guidance, he helped me improve in so many ways. He also provides an important holistic approach supporting physical, mental, emotional and spiritual growth in his students as well as the opportunity to learn about and participate in the Indian cultural events at his yoga studio. Thank you, Neil. October 27, 2002. Ileana Quander, dancer, artist, philosophy major, Washington, D.C. Neil Kulkarni is a gift to those people who are interested in the history, philosophy and practice of classical yoga. His health and yoga system has an unbelievably sound foundation based on years of study and personal experience. It is both unique and innovative. His knowledge of both classical and contemporary texts and methods is extensive, and he shows true scholarship in the sense that he remains well informed about the different styles, methods and approaches to yoga. No matter the level of experience, Neil is able to help his students put their yoga learning experience into the correct context based on goals they set for themselves. Goals may be as simple as losing 5 pounds or more involved, such as the study of Sanskrit and chanting as it relates to Hatha yoga. In an environment where there is an increasing amount of interest and talk of yoga and equally vast misunderstandings and or misconceptions about it based on either lack of information or inability to put it into context, Neil remains firm in teaching yoga based on its original intentions but as they apply to our present-day lives. Neil's strength as a teacher is his practicality. Although he is aware of and very much rooted in theory, he is able, sometimes incredibly humorously, to show us how we can, most effectively, apply these theories to our lives. I've studied a little bit of everything with Neil in the past year and a half or so. I began with Sanskrit and chanting and, later, added the Hatha yoga classes as well as his teacher training, several philosophy classes and 2 meditation classes. Accomplishments that I can speak of are, I am able to chant an entire prayer in Sanskrit as well as recognize many words, my understanding of the history and purpose of yoga has increased, my understanding of my own body and all of its finer points has sharpened and, as a result, my poses, especially my headstand, have improved. I dance as well, and I have found that the combination of yoga and dance is a good one that has allowed for better ease of movement and, indirectly, clarity of thought. Authentic yoga is truly a good name for Neil's style. It is unique in its approach but also, graspable, practical and truly holistic. Ileana Quander, dancer, artist, philosophy major, Washington, D.C. November 21, 2002. LCT. Neeli. Neil Kulkarni created a style of yoga called Authentic Yoga System, R. He had a fortune of studying with B. K.S. Iyengar, who was his teacher as well as next-door neighbor. One of the personal touches he incorporated into his training included the following: happy face, soft neck, mouth closed. As I teach my classes and use Neil's concepts, I realize that the 3 points he stressed allow me to know if a student is straining, or forcing their body to complete an asana, beyond their capacity. Another thing Neil stressed was, leave your ego at the door. I have realized the significance of this idea as I train. Students often see someone who is able to perform an asana in a superior manner and they want to equal that effort, which is dangerous. Many of my students have had negative experiences in various yoga classes, because they attempted to maximize an asana, which caused pain and muscle damage. I know when a student is not completing an asana at their comfort level, as they have excessively rapid breathing, trembling, their neck is taut, and often they breathe with their mouths open. As I observe my students, and notice they are attempting to perform beyond their capacity, I often meet with them to discuss the importance of performing asanas at a level that is sufficiently challenging, and reassure them that with time and steady effort, they will almost perfect a pose. He taught me to read my students, and to evaluate them to reasonably judge their capacity. Neil stressed that perfection of a pose is most challenging and seldom are we able to truly perfect a pose, as there are so many finite elements involved in doing so. Because of Neil's training, I am a confident yoga teacher. I know that I should read and research as a standard requirement. Neil provided me with resource material from his library that has helped me continue my yoga education, and serves as a guide for my classes. I know that I am blessed to have had the opportunity to be trained by a classic yoga teacher such as Neil. December 25, 2012. Dear Neil, I just returned from a cruise to Panama, Costa Rica, and Belize. I heard your phone message, but was not available. During the cruise, I provided a yoga lecture to the Tuskegee Veterinarian Medical Alumni Association. It was successful. Many of the attendees are now inspired to join a yoga class. Thanks to you, I have been given the training and resources to feel comfortable presenting information based on my knowledge. I constantly read the books you have given me, and have purchased additional books to continue my yoga education. I am eternally thankful to Ileana for telling me about your yoga teacher training class. I hope to come to one of your classes between now and the end of December. Additionally, I will be inviting you to a yoga party at my house between now and the end of December. November 11, 2007. I am LCT. Neely, a yoga student and teacher trained by Neil Kulkarni. The following is my testimonial about Neil Kulkarni as a yoga instructor. Classes with Neil were an honor because of his superior knowledge of yoga. He possesses the skill of knowing where to start a student when they first enter his class. This is an important step, because many new yoga students are frightened or turned off when they initially start a class because the teacher doesn't differentiate instruction for each student. When I was a new student, my goal was to learn the yoga headstand, which I had never attempted, and thought was impossible for me. Neil began to train me, giving me suggestions to concentrate on as I was attempting the pose. He would add another major suggestion at each class. I was a diligent student with my home practice, so I eventually learned to do the yoga headstand. Teaching the headstand is difficult, because there is a potential for serious injury. However, Neil was able to teach me in such a way that I never experienced any difficulty in my efforts to conquer the pose. Neil uses props with precision. Students are able to assume a variation of a particular pose with the use of props. This allows the student to develop confidence and strength before removing the props. His instructions are sequential and direct. His students know they are to constantly seek perfection of the pose with his gentle and patient prodding. Yoga philosophy is basic to the student who aspires to make yoga a part of their life. Neil is the consummate yoga philosophy instructor. He uses Patanjali, Iyengar, and many other ancient and current thinkers' interpretation of yoga philosophy. However, his knowledge is so very astute that he creates yoga aphorisms and philosophy. As a philosophy teacher, he methodically introduces concepts and ideas in such a way that understanding is facilitated. After each of his presentations of yoga theory, students are encouraged to seek clarification or further interpretation. During my classes with him, he has been able to answer all of my questions to my satisfaction. I am a yoga teacher trained by Neil, and I can say that I feel that he trained me to be a good teacher, because he informed me that I will never know all there is to know about yoga in my lifetime. Consequently, I constantly read material by the ancients and current yoga philosophers. As I read, I learn many new techniques and ideas that help my students and strengthen my teaching skills. If ever I need help with an issue related to yoga, Neil willingly provides the help for as long as it takes for me to grasp the concept, at no charge of course. The most valuable trait that I observed in Neil is that yoga should not have money as basis. He always has students in his class who will never pay him. As anyone who studies yoga knows, the ancient yogis were never paid, they were provided with food, clothing and other basic needs by their students. My students pay what they can afford, and if they can't pay, they are still allowed to take my classes. I am very thankful that I have had the opportunity to work with Neil, and I look forward to working with him in the future. Elsie Neely, Education Specialist, Washington, D.C., April 11, 2004. Reflections on your teaching of the Advanced Teacher Training and Yoga classes for 2002 to 2003. 1. I liked the idea of designing a program to meet each student's needs. It allowed me to clarify issues that were confusing. 2. The size of the class was ideal. I received one-on-one attention, which allowed me to refine some of my asanas. Your manner of teaching allows a student to know what they need to work on to approach perfection of a pose. Additionally, following your advice about doing the asana first, as close to perfection as possible, the teachers are capable of before teaching it. When you concentrate on the poses, you can better tell your students points to work on so that they can do the poses with ease. 3. I like the detailed explanations you gave about yoga theory, the asanas and what they mean and how they benefit parts of the body. You also supplied valuable books that provided in-depth knowledge about many aspects of yoga. 4. I disliked the idea that you formed the written exams while we were in the midst of class. I felt it implied that you did not plan well. The exam should have been prepared and handed to us. I feel that professionally such behavior appears that it was a last-minute process. If a college professor did such behavior, his job would be in jeopardy. Overall, I feel that I am better prepared than most yoga teachers in the USA because of your superior knowledge and understanding of yoga. You trained me to notice and listen to my body, to practice to get perfection, and that you usually never reach perfection, yet you still try. I must say that in your class I have done things that I thought were impossible for me. As a result, my confidence increased. Physically, I am much stronger because of your training, more willing to try what seems to be the most difficult of poses, and more aware of my posture at all times. Additionally, I feel that there is much more I need to learn from you. Elsie Neely, May 17, 2003. Critique of Advanced Yoga Training. The major goals I sought as I entered the Advanced Yoga Training class were to learn how to use yoga for specific therapy, and to improve my ability to perfect certain asanas. I did improve my backbends tremendously, and learned about some therapeutic applications, but I would like to learn more. I find Neil Kulkarni to be one of the most highly qualified yoga instructors in the area. He is trained in the classical style of yoga, to which he has made personal adaptations to form his personal style of yoga, known as authentic yoga. He skillfully uses props, encouragement, and gently applied discipline with his students to make them do things they never thought they could do. My first class with Neil was marked with incredulity at the idea that I could ever succeed in doing certain asanas. In due course, and with expert guidance, I was able to perform the asanas that I once thought were impossible. The advanced teacher training involved in-depth lectures on health, yoga theory and philosophy. The health and nutrition classes were very informative and enabled me to improve on my vegan diet. I feel that the health and nutrition information is as vital as completing the asanas. The healthier the body, the more prepared it is to do hard work. Yoga theory and philosophy help to make sense of the entire concept of yoga. Many people take yoga for the physical aspects only, they miss the essence of yoga. Knowing the theory and philosophy has enabled me to concentrate more, to focus on my breathing, and to begin to explore meditation. I am about to take additional yoga teacher training and I expect to compound my knowledge as an instructor. I look forward to my next class and I recommend it to anyone who wants to learn from a master. Elsie Neely, October 28, 2002. This is my feedback of the teacher training class. The class was quite comprehensive. I am certain after listening to some of the tapes you could have used more time. That will probably be for advanced or further teacher training. I enjoyed the class and learned so much. It stimulated my brain and activated my body and mind. The lectures were most valuable for me as a teacher and for my personal life. They affirmed much of what I do for well-being, and I learned more that I can do. The spiritual goal in mind and body training concepts helped me to improve my poses and meditation. I am reading the book you gave me to gain more insight, since I want to teach yoga. I will seek more training in different forms of yoga so that I will be more informed. On a rating of 1 to 10, I give the class a 10. You have great command of the material you presented, and you explain concepts in practical terms. I feel that I have had my initial training from a true master. I am very thankful. The only improvement I have is that it would have good if we stuck to time schedules. Sincerely, LCT. Neely, January 15, 2002. I will be taking the class on Wednesday. By the way, it is my observation that you are a good teacher. As a trained educator, I see you using practices that I teach to school staffs. You are following some practices that are considered vital to the success of students. For each class, the students know what material is to be covered. You allow questioning, which provides for clarity. You are very patient. The main thing is there is no applied stress. I look forward to the next class. LCT. Neely, November 15, 2001.